Hi, I'm Callie and welcome to Kapowski Reads, and this is my November TBR game. I'm also filming using my new camera and my microphone, so I'm hoping that the lack of I am in the northeast of Scotland, the clocks have gone back, there is no natural daylight, it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Where is the sun? Who knows? So I'm hoping that the lighting's not going to suck, but it kind of sucks. But we go with it. If you are new here, hello and welcome. Every month I select my TBR by putting the decision into the hands of fate. Not me, fate. I have a little board, I roll a dice, I move a little cat and I pick a card. Accordingly, I have a prompt and I go from there. I will pop a link in the description to the playlist for all of these games, but it's pretty straightforward. I normally start my TBR videos by going through my successes from the previous month, because I will totally have read all of the books that I previously said I would have read. That's not the case this month. My October TBR, even just the game of the TBR, I didn't finish. I then added a whole bunch more books and I didn't finish those either. I only had 4 books on my October TBR and I only read one of them, which was Woman Eating by Claire Coda. I made a vlog about this about this book. I absolutely adored it. I then saved the rest of my quite small TBR to read later in the month, but I got sick. I got really ill with like a cold type thing that also had nausea and dizziness, and I couldn't really read because it made me feel extra sick. So I didn't read the books. And now we move on to November. I really want to focus November on reading towards my 2025 reading goals. You know, we're in the second last month of the year, so let's take a look at those goals. I am really bad for looking at my reading goals January, February, ignoring them and hoping for the best. And then I look back at them in like November, December. So currently I'm kind of struggling with my Scottish reads and my physical library books. So I am going to be trying, if I can, to get as many of those books onto my TBR so that I can it's not really organic, but so that I can try and achieve my reading goals. If I don't make them, it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to cry. I'm going to just read books and have a great time. I also really want to clear my NetGalley shelf before the end of the year. So I'm going to try and get Scottish fiction. Or no, not just fiction, Scottish books, which are just books by a Scottish author, books by an author who has lived in Scotland or comes from Scotland. That all counts. Physical library books. NetGalley books. Let's see if the game is gonna work in my favour. Who knows? Will we lose the light? Rule number 1 is 6. Yeah, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seen on YouTube/BookTube. Rule number 1 is a book that I have seen on BookTube. And I have seen this book so many places on BookTube because it's just come out and it's quite an anticipated release. A lot of us didn't know it was coming. We Love You Bunny by Mona Awad. This is, I believe, the prequel to Bunny, which is one of my favourite books. I love it. So I know I'm going to love this. This was on my TBR for October. I didn't read it. I didn't want to taint this book by reading it when I didn't feel well, and I feel better now. So November is going on the list. Rule number 2, 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yellow, which is an animal on the cover. Rule number 2 is a book with an animal on the cover. I am going with Goblin by Ever Dundas. This book is kind of a dual timeline book. Part of the book takes place in World War II. We have a young child who is basically left to their own devices in war-torn London. They have found themselves rescuing abandoned animals and creating a sort of fantasy world in their mind to kind of, well, escape the horrors of war. And then we have a timeline in 2011 where Goblin is all grown up. Our main character is called Goblin. And she is brought back to London to kind of revisit memories and a life that she didn't want to return to. I'm really excited about this. It has a little doggy on the front, and I expect it's going to have a lot more animals included in it too if this kid is going around rescuing abandoned pets. Rule number 3, 2, 1, 2, blue. Favourite genre. Rule number 3 is a blue prompt, which is a favourite genre pick. So I'm going with what feels very seasonally appropriate, sort of gothic paranormal horrors. I'm going with The Murmurs by Michael J. Malone. If I like this book, a sequel has just come out. This book is about a care worker who has these sort of premonitions, these dreams where she can see like people are gonna die, and it's like a family curse, and that's kind of all I know, but I don't want to know too much going in. This does come to me quite highly recommended, and I'm really looking forward to it. Rule number 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, another yellow. Can I get it? Why can I not get it? Yeah. A friend recommendation. Prompt number 4 is a yellow prompt, and it's a friend recommendation. And I think I'm maybe cheating a little bit here because this specific book wasn't recommended to me until I was actually getting it at the library, but the author was recommended. I think that counts. And I'm going to go with The Drift by C.J. Tudor. I struggled saying this author's name last time too. I read The Gathering by this author last month. I had the best time, and I had a few people recommend that I read more books by her, so I got this from the library. This book takes place during a snowstorm. We have an isolated setting, an isolated cabin, and there is a group which includes a killer. But help is not coming, so what's going to happen there? In addition, there's weird whistling. So is there going to be like paranormal stuff happening? Or is the evil just human? I don't know, but I want to find out. The last book I read by this author, I devoured it in like a day, maybe 2 days. I just chomped it up, really liked it, and I'm excited to read another book by her as well. Number 5, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A free pick. And is there a rule 6? No. I have 6 spaces left, and that's 19. And my final rule number 5, is a free pick. I am going with a NetGalley book. I am going with The Game is Murder by Hazel Ward. This is a murder mystery, if you could believe that from this title. And we have, I think there's 13 people. One of them did it. And as far as I'm aware, the reader is to work out who done it. I'm not good at working out whodunits, but I'm kind of excited. I did have a small spoiler for this book where somebody mentioned, oh, it's insert name of real life public figure here. So I'm not going into it with no idea what's happening. I have a little bit of an idea what's happening. And this is my November TBR. It's quite small, but so was last month, and I didn't read that either. I'd love to know what you were reading in November, and if you've read any of these books, let me know. This is not my cat, but I love him, and he's being very vocal. So I'm going to finish this just now. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!